All right, what's good, YouTube? It is Yes, aka Big Dumper on Global Poker, and I'm back with some 100 NL Play and Explain action um, for y'all. So, hope you guys enjoy. We're gonna roll for this, and we will call. So, just getting right into it. No, there's no fucking around this video. All right, we're gonna be playing some 100 NL. We're gonna be playing lights out. Uh, or at least we're going to be trying to do that. So I got some hands pulled up that we could go over. Um, versus the size with the Queen of Diamonds, I think it's quite close. On an 84, I am going to raise. And you could use a pot size, or you could use a half pot size as well. So the half pot size would be kind of built around 7x, or like some lower pairs that have a tough time, like want to improve equity realization and protect against some of the button's Broadway cards. And then you have like a pot size that's built around sets, built around like your strongest ace X as well. So I think both strategies are pretty effective. And this board in particular is one that is likely being over c-bet. So like there are some players who are just range betting. And, to them, I say, if it works for you, I'm happy. Like, good. Like, keep doing it as long as it works. If it, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But just from having studied this board a little bit, or these types of boards a little bit, I can tell you there's quite a lot of checking on these types of ace high boards. So I call them ace mid connected. And yeah, I recognize that you definitely cannot range bet them without sacrificing a little bit of EV. Here we get cold called by a fish in the small blind, and we are going to be betting small. So you could opt for some checkbacks, but I think betting small is pretty effective. You might be able to go either way. A lot of the time, like the range of hands that's folding the flop is also folding the turn. So typically on like those static boards. Let's see. Do I have any fun hands for y'all? I think my mic is really sensitive right now, so I'm trying to like dial it in a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now I can talk at like a full volume. Let's see if I have any fucking... No, not that one. Okay, here's one. Here's an interesting one. This is a BVB, or not. I'm sorry, this is not BVB. This is a button. This is a big blind versus button 3-bet pot. So this is an interesting configuration, and it's admittedly one that I haven't spent as much time studying. So let's go ahead and we could look at the theoretical. Maybe I'll add the theoretical solution. Like we could do the GTOW analysis of this later, because I don't know if my call is necessarily all that good. So here we're facing a button open, and we're gonna fold here. We're facing a button open, and we have a hand that is definitely going to be doing quite a bit of 3-betting, at least with the ranges I use. So I go ahead and put in the 3-bet. And my opponent calls. So we get the Jack 10-7 board. I think on this board, I would like to be quite careful as the out of position player. I know, like small blind versus button and 3-bet pots, boards like this, you can play some open jams. So that's a kind of an interesting strategy. Maybe we'll look at that later. But like in similar configurations, like, well, I guess it depends how you play the big blind, right? But small blind versus button, 3-bet pots at 100 bigs deep at least, you are going to be opening, like part of the theoretical strategy is to, and here we don't have much equity, but our opponent has checked back, and I think it's time we just pile it in on him. This is, don't try that at home. It's just like fish limps and plays quite passively on a flop that is very connected and dynamic. So my assumption is that their range is quite weak when they check back. You shouldn't make that assumption about regs, but you can certainly make it about recreational players. Here, we could do numbers. We could play some big bets. We could also play small bets. I think versus does this player raise much? I know this is a recreational player. I don't know if they raise that often. I think you get called quite a lot here. Yeah, so we're going to go for the big bet here. This is quite a nice turn for us. We want to continue to pile in money. I think we're going to use either split into like a slight over bet and a B75, and this would go into the B75. And then here we'll check. Our opponent snap checks back. So we have two options on this turn. I would use a B75 or I'd play checks. And I think when I'm facing a snap check, this card might get opened quite often actually. So I might make some more money from the bluffing region rather than like betting. And now when he's checked all the way down, I guess I'm unblocking hands that need to bluff, but I think a lot of his range is going to be like pocket fours, fives, etc. So it might be nice to just target those hands. The small over bet, assuming this is a recreational player as well. I think that those hands tend to be pretty inelastic on this type of river, but we do get the fold. So maybe it was a little bit greedy. Definitely not like a sound strategy by any means. You definitely would want to, like if you were going to construct a bet size to use on that river, you probably would have an overbet, right? But ace-9 offsuit, go ahead and call. It's close though. It is close versus three big blinds. And we'll check. And then when they've checked back, they're saying they have like a hand like this or like a weaker hand. We'd want to be, we're going to check this time with this hand. But I think we'd want to be pretty polarized. This is definitely a weak sizing to use as the imposition player, where I think you generally want to be playing over bets. And we're going to check and most likely be calling like some bet here. We will bet this down here. We open button, we get called by the small blind. And facing this size, it's a straightforward call. So he had a hand exactly like mine. Or my exact hand, actually, sorry. We're going to fold this. And here we will check this back, right? So we open button, small blind, cold calls. And then we B75 flop, they call, turn goes check, check, river, we river two pair, they've checked the river. This is definitely like overfolded. So I think just going for like a not so greedy size is probably the highest EV play. Just use a B75. It's pretty easy to balance in theory as well. Like I don't think you would want to be playing like crazy large bets once you've taken like this discontinued aggression line. But you do get there with some of your draws, so who knows. And this board we can bet small or large, and I think range betting small is pretty effective on these types of boards, especially from the cutoff. One thing I recognize about like some of the later positions is okay. So here we've 3-bet and we've gotten a cold call. I'm going to continue with a bet here. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so yeah, we're snap getting raised here. I think we're so deep that we want to start developing a three betting range, and kings would definitely go into it. The jack is not that great of a card, although it's. We're just going to go 54. Like, I'm fairly sure my opponent has a set here. Like, if I'm going to put him on like one hand, sort of hard for him to have 10-9, right? Like, given the cold call, but who knows? Like, some fish are, so outrageous that it doesn't even matter. And then here, flush comes in, but I'm jamming my hand. It's much higher EV than checking and facing a jam. It would be sick if I was getting slow rolled here. So he probably did have a set and folded. Just like unfortunate. We'll open this, and then here, versus 3 big blinds UTG, we'll go ahead and fold. So that was a big pot. Let's see. We'll look at that hand, even though these ones aren't all that interesting. Multi-way, I'm gonna be doing a lot of checking here. Could simplify to range checking. I think that's a reasonable play. And we're facing this stab, so our hand doesn't really have enough equity to start putting money in. We're going to go ahead and fold. Here we will check back 9 of clubs, and then we get that ace of diamonds river, which is a little bit interesting for sure. Check here. So we're playing a lot of cold call pots here, like where we're like out of position or like multi-way, right? I'm going to check again here, and then this is not a good I'm going to fold this, but it is not really like an appropriate bet size. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Fold. And then here we will. Should I bluff my hand? I mean, I feel like I have a lot of fold equity versus lower pairs, right? So maybe it is worth bluffing. Like, I get like a 5 to fold, 3s, 4s. We'll fold here. All right, so let's look at this king 9 hand. So I open king 9 offsuit, which is a mix. It's like completely indifferent from the cutoff, and we get a small blind call and a big blind call. We get the 8-5-5 flop 2-tone. So I have the 9 of clubs, which is a nice card to have. I think I could go either way with this hand. I opt to check back this time since we're multi-way, and I would like either like better removal or like better removal to strong hands on future streets or just more equity. So having the 9 of clubs is sort of nice, but not that great. Like, it's not like I can bluff club runouts all that often with it. Anyway, we get the ace of diamonds turn, and the reason this turn is so let's just get to the play here. The big blind uses B66 size. Now multi-way, I'm not exactly sure what the theory is. I don't know how large you can go. I know that the burden of bluff catching is on me as well as the other player. So you don't need to, like, you're not really going as large to generate and generating like the same amount of fold equity as you would like in like a heads up pot, right? Here, this player seems to be a little bit out there. So we're gonna 3-bet the king queen. This is definitely a little bit loose, given the configuration. But I'm not sure about this player as of right now. And they seem to have chosen a nice sizing actually here. So we'll use 25, and we're gonna fold. And I have to call, but am I liking it? No, not that much. Let's get an ace. This player here, let's see, what's his name? InstaSam 928. Has been definitely getting the better of me today. And I think this is a little bit too, like, just this configuration might be a bit wide. Oh wow, we're deeper than I anticipated. I should probably be 4-betting much larger, so he can continue pretty much everything at this stack depth. I don't know what's going on. We're going to continue with a call here. And then I could bet here. I could also check. I'm feeling when you cold call a 4-bet, like, this is going to be a lot of aces and kings and whatnot. So definitely kind of a bizarre spot. Here we're going to continue with the call as well. We river trips, so it looks like we'll be getting probably winning the pot at this point. And I'm going to just show down ace queen. Am I a nit for this? Maybe, but I don't know what's going on here. So it's probably good to find out what is happening. Oh, wow. Okay. So very interesting cold call. Let's see, this guy said something here. Neat. Probably not so happy about me rivering trips. Understandable, bro. I got pretty lucky there, most likely. So here we can bet or we can check. I think betting does betting outperform checking? No, I think checking's okay, because like when you check, your opponent here is supposed to be like pretty polar, like take some pretty polar sizings when they stab, and I don't know if that's necessarily happening. So I'm happy showing this down. And we're already at the 20-minute mark, so I'm gonna watch this and I'll review it and probably post it. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if not, maybe you'll like the next one. So thanks for watching.